Welcome back to my self-induced stress test. This is the second part of a 3-part series where I try to finish all main series games before Scarlet and Violet come out. Unfortunately, I've failed. However, that doesn't mean I won't finish the marathon. It just means that the final part has been delayed. I'm nothing if not a lizard of my word. I promise I'll get it done before the year ends. This part focuses on the peak of Pokémon, the GBA and DS era. This era is highly regarded by Pokémon fans, and modern games are judged based on these games' legacy, and a multitude of other things. But I'm not here to review. I'm here to recap what happened when I played these games. I know this was a shorter intro, but I want to jump right in as soon as possible. So, without further ado, let's continue this trial. I decided for my Emerald playthrough that I was going to primarily use a shiny starter. And just like in my Mudkip video, I'm going to manipulate RNG to give myself one. Unlike Ruby and Sapphire, Emerald has a very dumb RNG system. So that means I had to manipulate the starter in a workaround way. Well, let me explain real quick. In order to get the shiny, I had to calculate my secret ID. The secret ID allows me to get it. In Ruby and Sapphire, the trainer ID and the secret ID are linked. In Emerald, it isn't. So I had to go finding it. So what I had to do was go to my Name Myself section and start my Eon timer. And end it on the 6th beat. I had to get as frame perfect as possible. So what I had to go after that, I found my trainer ID. I go to hexadecimal. I put it in. I go, let's say, 43780. Does that give me? Yeah, it does. Let's say that's my initial seed. Let's enter that into Researcher in Pokefinder, and let's see if that gives us anything. Well, in Custom 1, instead of a bunch of zeros, you would actually get some secret IDs. And what you do with that is you enter that into the secret ID section of Static Finder in Pokefinder, along with your trainer ID. And after that, you had to find where the shiny was in your, on the list here, and you have to go for the shiny starter to see if you got the correct secret ID. If you didn't, it's not going to be shiny on the shiny frame. So you'd have to try another secret ID, and you have to do that again and again until you figure out what your secret ID is. Is that good? You understand? Okay. After all that, I am not doing RNG manipulation for Emerald ever again. After all that, I made my way to fight May for the first time. Unfortunately, I couldn't name her Kyogre. I beat her easily. Actually, before I continued my journey, I decided to get another Lucky Egg. The only way to get a Lucky Egg in Gen 3 is from Chansey in the Safari Zone in Fire Red and Leaf Green. Luckily for me, the RNG odds were in my favor, because I got the Lucky Egg on my second caught Chansey. Then I was forced to beat the Sevi Islands for the first time in order to trade with myself from Fire Red and Leaf Green to Ruby and Sapphire so I could give it to Emerald. So basically I had to play a whole nother game, but I'm not going to even talk about that. That's all you're going to get. After that, I could finally begin my journey. Once I had finished the catching tutorial, evolved Mudkip, and encountered Team Aqua for the first time, I swiftly eroded Roxanne. I then saved Pico and delivered the letter to Steven. I skipped the second gym because it works better for backtracking. In the next town, I met Team Aqua's leader, Archie, and after a quick chat about some spare parts I had to deliver, and then beating May again in the hardest fight for speedrunners, and evolving Marshtomp, I made it to Mauville City. There, I bullied Wally and overloaded Watson. While making my way to Fall Arbor Town, I stumbled across a Skarmory, which I caught. After encountering Team Magma for the first time, I beat the leader, Maxie, before he could do something incredibly stupid. Archie questioned where my loyalties lie, and I went on my way to Lava Ridge. After I blazed through Flannery's pathetic team, May threatened to beat my dad and sped off. Let me just say something. I hate May. Don't get me wrong, she has a cute character design, but she's an awful human being in this game. I'm sure Brendan is just as bad. For starters, her dad is the forefront of knowledge in the Hoenn region, so she was brought up without much conflict. So when we meet for the first time, she seems nice at first, but when we battle her, she says she needs to check your Pokémon for you. She thinks she's so high and mighty just because she's the professor's daughter. What does this accomplish in the end? Nothing. She doesn't beat the league. Matter of fact, she stops after the 6th gym because she can use Fly. She gives up on that after taunting us so many times. Then she says she's going to finish the Dex before us. She doesn't ever. May, who doesn't amount to anything in this age, they did better in Oras. But here, she's a narcissistic brat. No wonder she doesn't have any friends. Something happened there. Anyway, I backtracked to Pummel Brawley and proceeded to have the talk with the Pokemon franchise's only visible father figure that isn't a professor. I've surfed past Mauville and met with Steven again. He said some weird stuff, then left. And I then had to stop Team Aqua from taking over a weather station. I'm done talking about Bae, so if she shows up, I'm ignoring it. After receiving the Divin scope, I clipped Winona's wings and made my way through like 5 different routes before heading to Mount Pyre to stop Team Aqua. But they were a victim of circumstance with the red orb because Team Magma for some reason grabbed the blue one. The old lady gave me the key to the Team Magma hideout, where I proceeded to see me! There I was in all my glory. Then I got mad at the color blue and flew away to Arceus knows where. I infiltrated Team Aqua's base next, where I grabbed the Master Ball. After I desynced Tate and Liza, I surfed for 4 hours beating trainers until I was way too powerful. I wiped the floor with Team Aqua, but Archie awakened that contemptible cetacean and flew away to go bother me in Sutopolis. I mean, seriously, I had just woken up like an hour ago. I'm chilling out, enjoying the sun, and then he barges in and picks a fight. I'm not even increasing the sun's heat. I mean, come on, Kyogre. If you're gonna stoop that low, at least have the decency to talk it out first. I have never met a Pokemon more insensitive, more brash, more egotistical, annoying, crass, pompous, incompetent than that ridiculous excuse of What? Oh. Hi, Kyogre.
Are you talking trash about me on your channel again?
Oh, no. I'm just practicing my, synonyms.
I guess that makes sense. But don't let me catch you doing this again. I'll be sure to remind you who your better is.
Oh, please. Spare me your overblown ego. Just huff off like you normally do. I have a video to finish.
You're playing with fire, sassing me like that. Don't let me catch you doing that again. Or else.
Now, where was I? Oh yeah, after that whole mess ended, I completely swamped Juan and proceeded to the Pokemon League. But not before getting lost in Victory Road and destroying Wally's hopes and dreams. Once I'd reached the Pokemon League, I proceeded to banish Sydney, haunt Phoebe, glazed Glacia, and crushed Drake. And then Wallace was washed up without a second thought, and I entered the Pokemon League's Hall of Fame. After that, I RNG manipped the weather trio to be shiny, which took longer than I thought it would. There he is. Docile earlier and late. I'll trade them up to current gen before March. Once that was over, I beat the strongest trainer, Steven, which was no match for a level 93 Swampert, and thus Pokemon Emerald was at an end. This is the game I was looking forward to the most, since I really dislike BDSP. I haven't played Platinum after those games came out, so I was eager to see if it holds up. Without further ado, let's begin. After being harassed by Kyogre, I picked Chimchar and reset until it was adamant nature. After encountering Cyrus at the lake, Kai and I leave for Professor Rowan's lab. I received the Pokedex and did a quick backtrack to my house to let my mom know I was heading out. Kai's mom also gave me a parcel to deliver. Next I caught a Bidoof and finally traded with myself to give Chimchar a lucky egg. I don't know how I got one in Soul Silver, but I had one nonetheless. A few minutes later, I reached Jubilee, where I met one of my favorite recurring characters in Pokemon, Looker. After being told about Interpol, I delivered Kai's parcel to him, and then kicked his butt shortly after evolving Chimchar. Shortly after that, I reached Oreburgh, where I easily crushed Roark. Backtracking once again to Jubilee, I encountered Team Galactic for the first time. After that, I made my way to Floaroma, then traveled to the Weather Institute to stop Mars, one of Team Galactic's commanders. She was a joke. I then traversed a short route and helped a green-haired girl through Eterna Forest. I proceeded to conquer Gardenia's plant clock and rescued some Pokemon from another Team Galactic commander, Jupiter. The man who owned the Pokemon was so grateful that he gave me a bike. I then helped a Sailor Moon cosplayer out of a dark cave, but not before evolving Monferno into Infernape. I encountered Cyrus again, but he addressed my existence this time before he left. I then participated in a beauty pageant. After thoroughly demeaning myself, I spooked Fantina so bad she gave me the badge. Then Kyogre challenged me to a battle. Geez, this guy doesn't know when to quit. Anyway, after I reached Veilstone, I did some underage gambling and won big. After becoming rich, I defeated Maylene through trial by combat.
Once I'd helped Dawn retrieve her Pokédex, the game slowed down for a second. I enjoyed making my way through the routes of the Sinnoh region, battling trainers as I went. It was here where I remembered what made me fall in love with the Sinnoh region in the first place. The music and the route layouts were captivating to say the least, and it sucked me in with sprawling landscapes and immersive environments. I can't believe BDSP almost made me forget that. After that realization, I proceeded to flood Crusher Wake's gym and chase down a galactic grunt that set off a bomb in the middle of a marsh. Oops, almost forgot to mention I met Cynthia earlier. Anyway, she gives me a cure for the Psyducks blocking the way to Celestic Town. There, I formally met Cyrus. We exchanged some words, then I proceeded to easily wipe him out. After beating Roark's dad, Byron, I met up with the professor, Dawn, and Kyogre in the library. Then a nuke went off. Those poor Magikarps. They're all going to die.
How could you do this, Saturn? You mean to tell me you can't adopt a Magikarp? Don't make me laugh.
I beat him and his arrogance, and traveled to Lake Verity, where I beat Mars again. I made my way through the ice route and made it to Snow Point. Candace was a joke. All I did was pour salt on her pokes, and they melted like ice in the hot sun. I used rock climb to get to Lake Acuity, where I found Kyogre had lost a battle to someone else besides me. In revenge, I stormed the Galactic HQ and freed the Lake Trio, but not before receiving the Master Ball, which I didn't plan on using since I was just going to kill Giratina when I got to him. After climbing my way to Mount Coronet, I attempted to film the Dialga and Palkia cutscene with my camera going all over the place. I tried, but then the best part happened.
Still kicks butt, dude.
A portal opened to the Distortion world, and Cynthia and I jumped in to figure out how to stop the portal's distortion energy output. I marveled at the anti-gravity of this place, so much that I filmed the whole thing. Here's some highlights.
Whoa. So stupidly cool. Bro, why you gotta waste my time with cool optics? People wonder... I wonder why they wanted to do a faithful remake. They're missing out on all this. That's so cool. No, this is it. Oh God. I feel like I'm gonna die. Die of confusion. Science at its best.
After those wonders, I had to beat Cyrus one last time, and all that was left was to fight Giratina and leave. Then I could beat the last gym and finish the main story. Then this happened.
Time to die. Oh my God! What? No! No! Get in the ball. Oh my gosh! What?
Even though it's been over a week since this happened, I'm still in disbelief that it actually happened. 1 in over 8,000, and it just happened to go for Giratina. What are the odds of this? Unfortunately, for the sake of pacing and keeping the length of the video semi-short, I can't gush over this. And I'd love to. But the show must go on. After reaching Solaceon Town, I reignited Volkner's battle spirit and received the final gym badge. After a surfing route and trudging through Victory Road, I reached the League, where Kyogre tried one last time to beat me, which went as well as every other attempt had. After an utter humiliation, I entered the League's point of no return. I bugged Aaron, fissured Bertha, burnt down Flint, and outsmarted Lucian. All that was left was Cynthia. It was a pretty straightforward fight, not too bad. I Shadow Clawed Spiritomb twice, close combated Milotic and Garchomp, Rock Slid Togekiss, and Flare Blitzed Roserade and Lucario. Just like that, the best Pokemon champion was defeated. After waiting through the credits sequence, I registered the last few Pokemon that I hadn't seen in the region yet: Mesprit, Azelf, Uxie, and funnily enough, Rotom. Once reaching the battle resort, I teamed up with Kyogre to beat Volkner and Flint, and with the power of friendship, we beat them. After meeting Kyogre's dad, I traversed the terrain all the way to Mount Stark, where the end of the story began. Mars and Jupiter proceeded to have a hissy fit, and Karen, the head scientist of Team Galactic, decided to try to blow up the mountain. Thankfully, Interpol showed up to stop him. After leaving then going back in, I encountered my best friend Heatran, which took me 3 tries to catch for some reason. And finally, to cap off Platinum, I grabbed the Adamant and Lustrous Orbs and killed off Dialga and Palkia, thus ending Pokemon Platinum.